Inequality. For far too long, there's been a chasm between the haves and have-nots, the strong and the weak. Would you believe there are actually filthy bastards who think that sex and gender are intrinsically linked? Those who don't want an adult male dressing like a female child and using the little girl's room. These bastards believe certain religious ideas can lead to terroristic acts and that you should actually work for a living. Worst of all, they believe you have a right to individual liberty and freedom of expression. Fortunately, we have people dealing with those important things and other issues like what characters are in video games, what cultures are represented in film and TV, and exposing straight people who don't prefer to fuck transgenders. Thankfully, we have social justice to bring equality to all, except of course if you're one of those who think social justice is bullshit. Since the mid-2000s, there's been a massive resurgence in social justice, culminating into an all-out war following the election of Donald Trump. Since then, there's been attacks on Trump supporters, clear media bias, the labeling of anyone who disagrees as a racist, transphobe, or fascist, amongst other slurs, and there's been boycotts and demonstrations, all in the name of social justice. Tonight, we'll explore the viral epidemic known as social justice and see for ourselves the impact it's having on our society. In this episode, there's enough social justice for all, and we'll hear from a few sadly misguided whack jobs who can't even agree what social justice is, such as these people, and a couple of guys that believe social justice is retarded. Fuck, I can't say that, it's not PC. I mean for pussy. Can't say that either. Fuck it. You get the point, you know what I mean.
Social justice, for me, is an attempt by all of us to be sensitive to needs of others, to show solidarity and sympathy, to accept that we share this planet together.
For me, social justice means that we all world citizens, feel it's our duty to ensure that every human being on this planet can live his or her life in full and in dignity. A third of the world population struggles every day about the most basic things like getting a meal on the table for the family, having a roof, having access to clean water, being able to afford health care when needed. So social justice is the concept that every world citizen feels that obligation.
That doesn't sound so bad. Maybe I'm wrong about this whole social justice thing. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Social justice, you should understand, is actually evil.
Fuck, that sounds serious.
Social justice, when people say it, it's an actual evil. Because anytime you put a modifier in front of a term that is inherently good, you turn it into a perversion of itself. So correctness, right? If you are correct, there's truth and there's something false, you are correct. Once you add political in front of that, you're not talking about truth and falsity anymore. You're talking about if you say the wrong thing, you get shot. Which is why, by the way, political correctness was a term that was coined by Mao. It was. Political correctness comes straight from the Maoist handbook. The same thing is true of social justice. Justice is a good. You do something, it's either good or it's bad, and you get what you deserve. That's what justice is. Add social in front of that, and you're inherently saying injustice is better than justice. Because whether you are guilty or whether you are innocent is irrelevant. If you're a member of a group, then you must pay the price for something that you didn't do.
I have a small admission to make. I've been combating social justice and PC policing long before doing any of this. And when I was doing research for this show, I realized I couldn't clearly outline exactly what social justice was. I mean, I knew who the SJWs were and the crazy shit they'd say and do, but I couldn't say exactly what it was.
Social justice means a life determined on human rights and equality. This is spelled out in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, for a life free from want and fear.
Without want and fear? And how do you propose we ensure that?
States have undertaken obligations to ensure that all their policies and actions deliver on social justice and to respect the equality of all people.
So you want the government to force people to think and act in the name of social justice? Simply put, social justice is socialism. And we all know how well that works out.
But there's an idea that emerged in the West, and the idea is that the state is regulated by the ethic of the individual. And so that the individual has intrinsic value, and that value is predicated on the recognition of the individual's capacity to generate order out of chaos. There's something about that that's right. Now, if we lose that, we're going to suffer for it, man. And I've studied totalitarianism for a long time. I know what happens when things take a viciously communitarian twist. It is not pretty.
You should have access to basic education, basic healthcare, so that your brain grows, you are not malnourished, you get good education, and you're able to seek employment, which is, if I were to use an ILO term, decent employment. This to me is social justice, and the ability then to support your family in a manner which is dignified and which is not if your working life is just full of insecurities about falling ill or about losing a job, that is not social justice. For me, it means that social security must be an inherent part of working life, and the wages must be such that you can support your family.
The issue is that compelled compassion leads to people like this, and shit like this.
Social justice is about inequalities. It's about how the benefit of growth are shared and distributed among all people and among generations in the different countries.
And valuing the collective, valuing people in terms of groups rather than individuals, is how you get to the point where murder in the name of the collective is okay. All you have to do to see this is just compare the American Revolution, which was about individualism, with the French Revolution, which was about collectivism.
So what is the real agenda of social justice? I'll bet you already know. Social justice is not just socialism. No, it's totalitarianism. The same shit that Orwell was warning us about decades ago is the end game of social justice. There is no way to obtain the goals of social justice without them having complete control. The social justice movement is responsible for bringing us third-wave feminism, identity politics, political correctness, and other anti-constitutional bullshit.
If you're not happy with the kind of policies that your company is putting in place, or the bureaucracy that you work in, or your government, or any of those things, if you're not happy about it, and you wait, the probability that you'll become more unhappy is extraordinarily high. If you come out and say something early on, you're taking a risk. But if you say something and you don't apologize and you hold your damn position, you can chase them back. That's been my experience. You don't apologize, and you don't soften what you have to say. But as far as I can tell, you've got a choice. You can wait around until things get worse and you're weaker, and you can wait till you're taken out, or you can stand up now and say what you have to say with a reasonable chance of success. That's how it looks to me.
Look, we can all agree that a little compassion for others is not a bad thing, and it may actually help make the world a little better place. No sane person wants to see terrible things happen to others, even if they represent a group you dislike or you don't agree with. But the problem is, social justice is often redefined for progressive political gains, and these motherfuckers want to take your rights away simply to avoid having their feelings hurt. Social justice prevents us from having real discussions, and it masks the real issues affecting the world today. We are creating a world filled with people who need participation trophies, can't take constructive criticism, and have no tolerance for ideas other than their own. No amount of fact or reality can sway the believers, and if you dissent, you must be taken out. And for what? In their mind, they believe they can craft a utopia. In reality, they are crafting a dystopia. They are exchanging their freedom for handouts. My only question now is, how much worse will this get before it gets better?